Treasure Island, Episode 6. While Jim was ashore, the doctor now tells the story. Dr. Livesey and Hunter went to the island to locate the stockade location. When they transferred the supply from the Hispaniola to the stockade, they gave the guns to the Red Route to watch the 6 seamen. On the 5th trip, Ibrahim Gray joined them, and the boat sank with the half supplies.
2 shore boats went ashore from the Hispaniola, while the captain, the squire, and I talked matters over in the cabin. Then Hunter came in and shut the door behind him.
Jim Hawkins was on one of those boats. He's gone ashore with the rest,
he said.
I fear for his safety.
I can't just sit here, I said. I'm going ashore in the rowboat.
I'm going with you,
Hunter said. The map had indicated a stockade, and Hunter and I steered the rowboat in its direction. The 2 men guarding the shore boat seemed anxious at our appearance, but they had their orders, I suppose, and decided to stay where they were. When we landed, I jumped out and ran, with a pistol in each hand. I had hardly gone 100 yards when I reached the stockade. Inside a 6-foot-high fence was a sturdy log house with a spring of clear water that rose up underneath it. The house could hold 30 people in a pinch, and there were some holes in the walls for men with muskets to defend the stockade. Around the building was a wide space that inclined upward, so whoever controlled the log house had every advantage over any attackers. Just then, I heard the cry of a man at the point of death ringing over the island, followed by the distinct clap of a pistol. Immediately, I returned to the shore and jumped in the rowboat, and Hunter made the water fly until the boat was soon alongside the Hispaniola. When I was back aboard the ship, I found everyone shaken. I told the captain about my plan to take refuge inside the stockade, and we settled on the details. Red Ruth would stay in the galley with loaded muskets for protection. The 6 remaining scoundrels were sitting and grumbling under a sail in the forecastle. Hunter brought the boat just off the stern, and Joyce and I started loading powder tins, muskets, bags of biscuits, pork, some wine, and my invaluable medicine chest. We had the rowboat loaded as much as we dared, and Joyce, Hunter, and I quietly made for shore as fast as the oars could take us. This second trip alarmed the lookouts on the beach, and one of them disappeared into the woods. We soon touched land and transferred everything into the stockade, and Hunter and Joyce stayed to guard the house while I rowed back to the Hispaniola. The squire, who was waiting, caught the boat and secured it, and we started loading it with more provisions. Red Ruth dropped into the boat, which we then brought around for the captain.
I'm with you, sir!
He yelled, running to the captain. He and the captain got aboard with us, and we shoved off. We took on water several times, and my pants and the back end of my coat were soaking wet. The captain gasped.
The cannon!
I'd entirely forgotten about the ship's guns. To our horror, we saw the 5 pirates on the Hispaniola busily removing the cover from the big cannon.
Israel was Flint's gunner,
said Gray hoarsely. The rowing stopped, the squire raised his gun, and we leaned over to the other side to keep the balance. By this time, the pirates on the Hispaniola had turned the cannon toward us. Israel, who was at the muzzle with the rammer, was the most exposed. However, just as Trelawney fired, Israel bent down and the shot whistled over him. It hit one of the other 4 pirates, and he fell with a cry. His cry was echoed not only by his companions on board, but also by a great number of voices from the shore, as the other pirates came out from among the trees. The one source of danger was the cannon. A cannonball came toward us at that same instant. Where the cannonball hit, no one could tell, but it must have gone over our heads and plunged into the water, because its impact contributed to our disaster. At any rate, our boat sank in 3 feet of water. No lives were lost, and we could wade ashore safely, but all the food and supplies were underwater. We heard voices in the woods along the shore, and we worried we might be cut off from the stockade in our weakened state. So we waded ashore as fast as we could, leaving behind the poor rowboat and half of all our powder and provisions.
پرتوک هاریکار بو پولا دوزه پیکاتیا پارچت خواندنه وشه رزمان و دنگه او تایبت چیروکا گزیرتا گنجینه ابوینه هاتیه شلو بکرنه گل نویسینه